Hey guys, welcome back. I haven't done a video in a while on the RZR, so I figured I'd kind of go over it. Got a few rides under my belt now, and I made some augmentations to the machine to better suit my environment and my riding style, which is hammer down. So, here's what I did. You guys can clearly see everything. I'm going to go over it with brief detail, and we're going to make a couple videos that go over this stuff. The first thing I did, and the most obvious, is different wheels and tires. The Jerk Commander tires were awesome. They were 12-inch rim, factory Polaris wheel, which had a very good offset. Love the offset. I got the 5+2 offset rims here, so they're very, very close to factory. The tires are 10 inches wide all the way around. It's a 30-inch on a 14-inch rim. The Jerk Commanders, I will say, are fantastic tires. If you don't ride where it's super muddy or find yourself in mud a lot, I would not change them. They're fantastic tires, and they did a lot of things better than these do. These are Blackwater Evolution tires by ITP, and they're awesome. They are just as tough, if not tougher, than the Dirt Commander. They are way, way better in dirt, wet, any mud, anything. They're fantastic. They're insane, actually. Also, one thing that they can do is that at a lower speed on a curve on a dirt road, I can punch it and these will break loose. Probably because there's a total of 4 inches less in width in these tires versus the stock ones. These are 10s, the stocks were 12 in the rear. So they do break loose on command, which is a great feature. I actually find that I can take curves faster doing that, and let's face it, it's a hell of a lot more fun. So I really like this setup. The beadlock rim is definitely a must. I can't tell you how many times I almost popped my tire off the bead on the OEM Polaris wheels. These are way, way nicer. I will say that these guys, torquing these just right, be careful. If you cross-thread this, that's done. And they are easy to do. You got to be very, very careful. They also have the spline drive lug, which as far as trail utility and ease of maintenance, not good. I like the OEM ones better. They're much bigger, very easy to change and move out, and there was a lot more space in the rim to get a tool in, so it's really kind of a pain in the butt to carry a socket to go over the tool that opens this up for my TPs. I hate it, but par for the course, I guess. So the tires, they made a big difference. They're so much taller. And I'm going to combine this in the video, this and Racertech in one video here. The other thing I did, other than the tires, was I got a Racertech shock relocation kit. It's not like a shackle so much. It's not like a block lift like you'd think about on a truck. It changes the suspension geometry for the better. While I don't have a ton of seat time in this thing, it is notably better with the Racertech 1.5 inch. They call it a lift, but it really is just a shock relocation. With it on there, you can actually take some preload out, or you can not do that. I found that with the lift and these tires, that the machine kind of had more roll to it. It leaned more. It wasn't as stiff in the corner. And a lot of that, again, is the tire design. These are very rounded, a rounded pattern, whereas the Dirt Commander was very wide and just chiseled. It was very square. It sounds ridiculous to describe a tire that way, but that's exactly what it was. So this has less contact, a smaller contact patch than the Dirt Commander did anyway, and they're 2 inches smaller in the rear, so that made a huge difference in the cornering and the curve acceptance of this particular machine in terms of body roll. So I actually stiffened the dampening a little bit, so I guess I should say reduced dampening, a couple clicks, and that made a big difference. And I may adjust the preload a little bit, which may take the vehicle down a little bit. I really like this height because I was bottoming out all the time. I was driving on some very punishing terrain, and I bottomed out a lot. It was very uncomfortable, so I decided to change things up a little bit. So next, in this box over here, I actually have SuperATV's A-arms. Now I realize they're not like the best, but they are really well reviewed and they are awesome for the money. And I'm going to give them a shot. I'm going to keep all my stock stuff. I'm probably going to keep these just in case I break the SuperATV, because if I break the SuperATV, I'm not going to buy another one. So I'm going to put the stocks back on, or maybe go with high lifters or whatever. I'm going to try running the stock axles for as long as possible until they break, which I'm sure they will at some point. So I'm going to put the SuperATV arched arms on later. I don't know, maybe in a month or two. We'll see. I haven't had a chance to ride this that much, so I haven't felt the need to go put those on yet. But yeah, so that's what I've done to lift the vehicle. That's my tires, wheels, all that stuff. It does make a pretty big difference. The stance is better. The performance is better for what I'm using it for. If you're running dunes, this isn't going to work for you. If you're, just running dirt track, actually these tires may still work for you. They're pretty badass. But I would probably prefer the Dirt Commanders and be a little bit lower to the ground. But if you're doing trails and the trails are just ridiculous, like archaic, horrible, this is a good setup, I find. So that'll conclude this video. Rims, tires, and suspension lift on the Polaris RZR 1000S. Thanks for watching.